John, how's the preparation been going for Sunday's game against Toulouse?
Well, first of all, we've reviewed last week's game, and we feel we've identified some things we did well, and obviously some things we didn't do so well. So we're trying to continue the improvement of the things we're doing well, and trying to rectify the things that we didn't do so well. So, it's been pretty good up to now, and we get on the field and seeing what sort of side we can put together. But we are suffering a little with injuries at this moment in time. I mean, that's not an excuse. That's a valid reason at the minute, and we're going to have to turn out what we feel is a representative team on Sunday and come up against some formidable opposition in Toulouse.
Dane Chisholm's a doubt for Sunday, John. Are you going to leave that right up until the kick-off last minute?
Well, again, it's Thursday, and we kick off at 3 o'clock on Sunday. But obviously, I'm a big believer in we need to train together as well. It's a team game. You can't just shove a group of individuals out there who haven't worked together, trained together, got the combinations right, and understand structures and systems. So that's a decision that we're contemplating, and there's all sorts of contemplations going on at the minute, and it's a bit fluid is the situation with regard to team selection.
Joe Keys, Rowan Milnes, they're definitely not available this week.
Well, there's Joe Keys, there's Rowan Milnes, and there's Jordan Lilly are not available because Jordan's obviously suspended, got that 1 match suspension from the Sheffield sin binning. So we started off with what we felt were 4 quality halfbacks. We might end up with none if Dane Chisholm doesn't come through. So, that's one of the areas we're going to have to address. We practiced with 3 different halves on Tuesday. We'll be doing something similar tonight, but we're going to run with 4 different halves tonight and just try and come up with a solution to that problem. But obviously, these things are going to happen. We're copying it early on, and it might be because of the rigours of our pre-season, but we'll get people back in the fullness of time, and obviously as the season progresses, some of the clubs with smaller squads might well start suffering. So, we feel as if we've planned and we've prepared for such a thing, and obviously Sunday's performance and Sunday's result will determine whether we've done it well enough.
It's fair to say, John, although you have a conundrum in the halves, you have numerous players, Brandon Pickers, Galella Michele, Mari Wilde, who can fill that role. Yeah,
and well, I've been speaking with someone else as well, who perhaps people might not think about, but we've chatted at length about the role of a half-back and what would be required should he run out there. So, yeah, as I say, we're trying to cover every what-if scenario, but I didn't expect to have no half-backs after 4 rounds of the competition, but that might be the case for round 5.
What do you make of Toulouse, John? There's certainly a lot of danger. You look at Stanislas Robben, John Ford, Mark Kerala. There's a lot of strike there.
There is, yeah. They're a really good team. There's that Dean Parata as well, the hooker, so their spine's good. They've got some big, tough forwards up front. I mean, I know Ben Evans very, very well from Wales. They've got Con Meeker as well, who plays on an edge. French internationals are littered throughout the team, so they're a good team, and and it's nice because the people talk about them as a full time as well as Bradford, even though we know we're not full time, and I suspect Toulouse aren't fully full time as well. But it's a quality team, and we know they'll challenge us, and we know we've got challenges ourselves within our squad as well as with the opposition. But I'm really confident that we can handle it.
Bradford have lost the last 2. Toulouse have won their last 2. They're going to arrive at Odsal with a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, I don't buy into that, Mick. I mean, we've lost the last 2. We could have won those last 2. We won the first 2, and there's every possibility we could have lost those first 2 as well. I mean, that's how tight the competition is. I'm sure Featherstone were a little aggrieved that we sneaked a 1-point win, and they'll be saying we could have won that. Well, we felt we could have won at Sheffield after leading 10-6, and we felt we could have won against York after leading 14-12, but we didn't. That's how things pan out, so I don't really buy into that. I think Sunday's a different day. We'll have a different team out there. I think we know pretty well what they're going to turn out, and we'll just see what the end result is, performance and results-wise.
The side took a few wrong options last week and probably didn't build enough pressure on the opposition line. Is that something that you've worked on in training this week, not having a flat end to the set?
Well, it isn't necessarily that. We looked at the video, and a section of the video was missed opportunities, and there were 7. So I think if there's 7 missed opportunities, either our skill execution or our decision making hasn't been correct. So that's been a big focus for this week. But as I say, it hasn't been the most fluent of preparations because of the unavailability of the blokes who are executing those skills and decisions. So we're having to go in a bit, a bit with a new look. It'll be a new look we've got, but we'll see how good we are on Sunday.
And I think we just saw how good the Bradford Bulls can be, John. Certainly the positives in that defeat against York, when that great try from Brandon Picker's goal, a play that started inside the Bradford Bulls' own half. Is that part of the game plan moving forward, because the lack of forwards at your disposal? No,
we're getting some forwards back. One of the plus points is we've got Callum Bustin available. Another plus point is playing on tonight, Thursday. We've got Ollie Wilson playing in the 19s, who obviously would come into first team contention. So we're getting players back. It's the half-back situation that's the most worrying at the minute, but we've got to accept that. And you couple the half-back with the goal-kicking situation, because we ain't kicked well, have we, this season? In our 4 games, we've scored 13 tries, we've conceded 13, but we're still down on the points difference, and that's simply down to the 2 points. So, and you look at our goal kickers, there's Keys, there's Lilly, there's Milnes, and there's Chisholm, and they're all missing. So that's something as well that we're going to have to look at and address. So there's a fair few things just to think about this week, and a fair few things to prepare for, as well as a pretty good opposition on Sunday afternoon in Toulouse.
Have other players been practising the goal kicks this week, John?
They have, yes, they have, and you might be surprised who's lining up taking it, but I'll let you see that on Sunday, Mick.
And just going back to Oliver Wilson, of course, the under-19s academy season starts tonight at Dudley Hill against St Helens. Oliver Wilson back from injury. He can really put himself in that shop window and potentially try and get a first team or a 17-man spot against Batley a week on Sunday. Oh,
definitely. Yeah, I just want to see that he's confident with it, that his wrist is completely healed, and if he is, his ability-wise, he's bound to be knocking on the door, because he's a good player. Anybody who watched those, we know by watching him at Bradford. But anybody from outside the club, if they went to those England Academy Australian schoolboys test matches, they'll know he's a good one as well. So he's bound to be knocking on the door. So I'm pretty excited about tonight and hoping that he comes through without any mishaps.
And with that season starting tonight, John, is there any particular players that excite you from the new crop of under-19s?
Oh, there's loads. Yeah, I think one thing that John Bastian and Lee Beattie and Mark Dunning do. First of all, they identify talent really well, and then once they've identified it, they develop it really well, and it's good to see the 19s is a part of that development. And I'll be sat there, it's nice to just go and sit and watch a game and enjoy what's going on in front, and I'll certainly go along tonight, enjoy that before I get home and watch Saints and Salford on the box.
And just finally, John, if you can tell us a few words about the late Peter Fox, who sadly passed away earlier on this week. A great man, certainly one of the most passionate and knowledgeable people in the game, who gave so much to the sport, not to mention the 2 coaching spells he had at Bradford Northern. Yeah, well,
legend is bandied about too much, but Peter Fox is a true rugby league legend. His family aren't they? With regards to his family, Neil was instrumental in me getting the job at Wakefield in 2006. Unfortunately, while I was at Wakefield, Don passed away, and I attended his funeral in 2008. And Peter, I've had a long association with. He tutored one of the first coaching courses I went on, and it was fascinating there. And now we've got all these computers, and we just feed data in, and it comes with what we ask. Well, Peter had his little black book, and it wasn't a black book who we wanted to get. It was all the players in what was then the Stones Bitter Championship. And he came up to me talking about it when I first went on this coaching course. I was still playing then, and he knew more about me than I did. He absolutely went into depth in the nth degree. People talk about him as a great motivator. He was, but he's a great technician and tactician as well. And since then, I worked with him frequently on 5 Live when I first started doing the summarising. Peter was the senior summariser, and he gave me plenty of words of wisdom, believe you me, about that as well. So, you know, I'll miss him, and I think his contribution has been great to the game. And anybody associated with Bradford Bulls, or Bradford Northern as it was when Peter was here, they'll miss him, as will anybody associated with Great Britain. And, you know, you can recall that Oxford second test match when he picked a team of Dad's Army, and all the media, all you fellas in the media saying what he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, he did know what he was doing, because they pulled off one of the great shocks of international rugby league, and that was typical of Peter Fox. He knew, he was confident, he was a true rugby league man, and he's a true rugby league legend.